first round of Breeze.
There we go.
We're still dipping our toes to see what the guard has
really
as a Jet going for a double push with Jonah P inside the A-halls. But for Sentinels, it's a different look. A triple initiator, starting with the Owl Drone, tagging net, potentially forcing the fallback. There you go, back at the bridge, opening up the A site.
And we wonder this map pool could actually allow just Jet, right? If Sentinels wanted to play Jet through this map pool that we see here as they encroach onto A, slowly scaling in, they could, but still the chamber's there. What will
Mike ready?
be able to do?
Mike.
Yeah, there's on the flank here. They're already coming around the corner. There's the first contact, and there you go. Who better than Shroud for the first blood? Traded out though, and it's looking to be a back and forth. The back defense in control. One more to go to 180 on the latest edition as well. Zellsis giving the first round for Sentinels on the pistol.
Yeah, that's huge.
Beautifully played. The triple initiator composition requires a lot of the members of Sentinels to be together, to work as a team. You don't have somebody that's dashing forward, that's gaining the space. When those flashes go out, there needs to be bodies, and you saw all of Sentinels, a very nice scaling onto the side off Shroud's wall. He picks up the first blood.
I mean, that looked kind of easy
better here, and they do take first round. It is going to be a Marshall for Saya player in the second round. We'll see if he can do anything else.
And that's something common that we usually see from Saya player anyways, and a perfect map to bring that out too, but he's actually using it more towards the A-halls. Meanwhile, where we do have pressure from the defenders is a 3-stack from the guard up here towards the tunnel, and it did match a little bit of control from utility from initiators, while we have also a push coming out from net, who does get spotted, does get picked for a bit, down to 4 HP, and now falling back.
Little 3-man test, making sure they can at least trade if they do go for one. Dapper,
different crosshair for tenz
Dapper on the peak there, but he also has a bit of an anchor coming from tenz. And Sentinels have always kind of played that unconventional. It was sick on Sage or Dapper on something else on the controllers to get their engages, to be their duelists. Sentinels have always had a different style.
He doesn't get used to it.
And the triple initiator as well leads to a style where you can play straight to protocols. You don't have these set strats. Now it seems to lean towards B. The guard has this quite red though, Vansili.
Yeah.
That triple initiator
they're like,
a little bit more slowly, but look at that.
40 seconds. They're really taking their time on it.
But it's going to be another double play soon from the guard. As Sentinels are executing inside the B side. Just across the wall. They're about to cross. Dialin is going to be the first one. A ding onto the second, so no plant coming down yet. Nice poison going from Shroud just to try to cover for a bit. 20 seconds left. Play trying to still go for a plant, but we still have the Marshall in play. tenz though, coming in as a chamber, getting a shot on the net. We're still looking back at the flank, and now it's only going to be Saya player. Spot it towards the mid, and it's going to be an easy 3 versus 1.
We're not even watching, basically.
It's going to be impossible for Saya player to try to win this 3 versus 1 with only a Marshall.
If he can hit a few through the smoke,
it's actually pretty expensive, right? Because they killed 2 guys. 2 guys already have to
yeah, 100%.
And even a far rotation off here by Shroud to make sure that they could just hang back for the full defuse if it was necessary. Great damage by guard. Second round is Sentinels though with another plant, so actually economy there. So they can get themselves into this bonus round. It might be a little bit of a back and forth by maybe tenz of the Spectre. He might just go full headhunter here, and it looks like he will do that. The guard have tried to push onto B. They played Saya player towards a Marshall for that round, so hoping he can get the Blade Storm soon. It doesn't look like an operator will be in the future with the economy just yet.
Well, let's look at his CS crosshair, right?
Saya player over towards A.
Okay, I'll eat it.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
They spread out his defense.
Yeah, he uses those big boys.
Keep an eye on net towards mid and how much coverage he can control with
this
this move towards A for Sentinels.
I like it.
They can, again, do anything, right? It's off of protocol. Not really strategies for them, as they can flow anywhere with this composition and the play style we've usually seen from them.
That's why we're talking about is trying to stay in the default style that you have from Sentinels with the triple initiator. Playing it more slowly and using your utility of the initiators to figure out if the guard are going to be pushing somewhere early like they did in the last 2 rounds. This means that we might potentially see a lot of but this time it's going to be quick. We're moving inside the A side, and it's going to be an open door, but Trent holding it up towards that bridge. 2 kills on the ground and Dapper. tenz, the last player standing stuck at the mid double doors, now on a 3 versus 1. Make that a 2 versus 1, but he just gets flanked by net, and that's the first point on the board for the guard, as Sentinels had that bonus round.
Yeah, nicely retaliated by the guard, not thrown off by the fact that there were 3 coming out, even
Trent just
with
had
that fade utility
from
Dapper. Guard still able to retaliate and get the right calls down. They had a good read on it too. 2 had the Hull and mid lane coming in from net, so nicely positioned over towards A to make sure that bonus round went in their favor. Now, well, first full gun, tenz may look to get an orb here in halls. Get that tour de force online.
Do we know if guards on land as well?
The spike is down, so this definitely means they want to read out the guard.
Mask.
They want to make sure when they use
I know
this
nothing.
initiator, it is used to the maximum.
They are so dead.
We're trying to push real quick down. Block contact. Jonah P does manage to get the kill onto tenz, so that cancels out the tool de force, but at least it gets traded up by Shroud. But Saya player also pushed forward, and that's good for Shroud to fall back. Thankfully as well for Sentinels, they still have 3 initiators on the board to be able to try to re-clear that shop if they want to, and that's where we're leaning for Sentinels. But look at this push from Trent, just by Sussy. He looks on the top of the net, catches perfect timing, but the juking from zellsis. The awareness of that player to actually give the advantage for Sentinels.
Yeah. People do play there, but still, like this
the guard right now. Sentinels have seen 2 pushes, right, already. That B push on second round as well as elbow that came in late for the second round, and now this. They're expecting guard to be a little bit aggressive. Already fed in a few kills here. Net able to trade one tenz. It looks like they're going to scale back on A. Sentinels for the plant with Viper's Pit.
Shroud on top of that has the pit to pull that. Allowing Dapper to get a flank down. Shazam watching that flank, easy kill on that flanker. So Valen now as he gets spotted earlier on by that taunt. They know that he's playing towards the back of the site, speaking of Sentinels, so they play a little bit more passively inside that pit. Yeah. Dapper watching the back end. Could be an easy round coming in. Oh, okay, never mind. Making it to a little more for Valen. Looks for the second one, but as he tries to clear towards the left side, Shazam came out of nowhere and got that frag, and it's going to be now 3 rounds for the
nice
Sentinels.
Clean eco here.
The really interesting thing there at the end of the round, and I'm sure people looking at the mini-map saw it, all of the action was in the bottom right-hand corner, right? Sentinels didn't have to encroach into sight. They got fights at the end of hallway towards their side. Like, look at where all the kills are. There's another kill towards their side. Kill already happened, another kill back. So Sentinels completely absorbing the push from guard here. Guard, though, active, looking, reading, right? They're learning in these rounds just as much as Sentinels is.
This is their pick.
You may see guard slow down a bit once they've got a feel seeing Sentinels in this death ball, the rounds they have pushed. So both sides getting information as we start this game out. It really hasn't told us much yet.
Yeah, they're setting a really nice pace to the game, it feels, right?
Rotting here.
They're patient. Look at them.
Yeah, very like,
once again,
disciplined, careful.
And we are, but it's on an extremity on the A side, as you see Net lurking
like
up
spawned in, he just stays in spawn. Just watches A push. He just stays in spawn and watches A push.
And the initiators are looking for control on mid.
I'm not being a Debbie Downer.
From the guard here as much as they can. Net firing a few off. Looks like the iron sight was not calibrated as he wished. He gets out of that one. A little worse for wear. And again, Sentinels waiting. Look how far, like in spawn. That's the call. That's the call in game, right? They're where they buy guns. They're still where they buy guns.
I love how Tenz is like, I hate small crosshairs, and he's playing on like the smallest crosshair ever. I can't even see it.
Someone there with that push from the guard, like shot for something. See what happens.
Better gun.
When you have such a easy percentage to flush everybody out, nothing to actually counteract that
delayed dart.
zellsis. And this is one of the good things we're seeing from Sentinels so far, Riv, where we're actually saving this toxic screen from Shroud.
What the fuck, Jonah P?
So use your initiators to scout out the map, find out where the stack could possibly be, trying to catch the players off guard. They're trying to play aggressive. Then when it comes down to a hit, well, you still have your wall and you have plenty of utility for the 2 flashes, the haunt, also on the refresh. So there's just so much down on the pocket right now for Sentinels that
you have too many viewers to be saying that.
Start learning and adapting in their what I would call still their comfort pick on this map.
Yeah, and seeing the chamber push on one side of the map tells you a lot. Actually, you know, there might be
it wasn't
another
clean, but it was a good round nonetheless.
Chances are you have a read that they're heavy towards the left side. Chamber can obviously teleport out from that push, so you never really want to go too hard on it. And Sentinels, as you said, going in, playing the wall when they do or don't need it, that was the that was the save-ish for the guard, right? So, of course, Sentinels are going to take the long-range firefight. The aim has been on. You see everybody getting a piece of the pie right now. Ultimates have already been used to secure a few rounds for Sentinels. We saw a very early Viper's Pit from Shroud that allowed them to secure a few, and we're back to a bit of a sorted round. Tour de force here for guard. Yeah. We do have armor for them.
Look how patient they are across the board.
This is a double
up. Yeah, turret. Look at him. He just stays towards A.
Great call. These rounds being 4-1 for the Sentinels. Everything comes back to the other guy where they have a very strong
That is so unlucky.
No flashes to go in on the execute.
Oh my god.
That blows, dude. I'd be so
when you kind of like.
I'd be so annoyed if that happened.
But it's never good to lose somebody, right? Great job by the guard. Beautiful find by Trent.
I was gonna say, I wonder if the guard are
what
being
they need.
too
You need to
timid. Like
shut
they're playing
down
also very
Sentinels
passive,
who are
right?
waiting
And I
for
wonder
you
if that's
across
because they know
the map.
Sentinels
They're
are
like, all right, wait
holding,
for this.
or
Yeah,
not sure.
Takes them down.
Well,
because guard isn't playing.
One round
into
that
the
they got
hand of
aggressive, they got
Sentinels
punished,
anymore. They're staying
right?
on their own
The push
side,
A,
hard angles.
the push A,
like, you double
Mike
up, like
traded
you
it.
said.
They went 1-for-1 and then
Really
all
nice.
the
Oh yeah.
Sure. Maybe they're just kind of a little worried with how passive they're playing.
The Hunter's Fury coming out on the attack as well. The Hunt also pings and forces the fall back. Couple of pings coming out
I've never heard you say that in your
from
life.
the Hunter's Fury on Shazam. But still a 5 versus 4, so going for a plant. Nice little shock dart onto tenz to do a little bit of chip damage, but still in the end, it's a plant. Full plant situation now for the guard for the retake. Starting things off quite well with the full kill from net. Battle onto mid, and Shazam is lurking back. But the retake back towards the site. Shroud is holding towards the angle at the ladder. That's the first left Berlin, but it continues to get traded out, and it continues to be a perfect retake for the guard to make it 2-4 in favor of Sentinels.
Kind of shut them down.
Oh, the little clip shot Sentinels are hitting here just look like they are winning the round, but the backside there, Jonah P moving in, the squad coming together, and they were able to take down just about everybody through the backside of the site when the focus was towards mid, was towards that B archway. So really nicely done there. Guard did suffer quite a bit.
They did the wall.
I'm tired.
You want to get a first pick because if all 5 make it in and you're double op retaking, then it gets dicey. Right? You're looking to use the op as a shotgun, and it doesn't really work like that for some. Viper's Pit's going to stall out an A hit here to start things off, but again, Sentinels sticking together. They don't really have a lurk with this composition.
They have 3 initiators though, right? So you would imagine
when I streamed yesterday,
the offers are walking towards
yesterday before I went to Texas,
you have the silver plane towards the back A hole. And then you have the Viper's Pit in the front, but you're facing against 3 initiators in the front A site. Now the door gets a little bit of beautiful flash, but it's still Saya player that lands the first kill of the Dapper. Valen answers back onto the A main 2, holding the top. The recon dart comes out, and that's a spike down as well. But we are trading back. It's Shroud and tenz back with a 1-1 of their own. An advantage coming in for the guard as the recon dart comes out, trying to flush out Shroud.
First one to post to YouTube.
And he's getting sprayed at the same time. tenz goes for a plant.
Wants to reposition. Oh, he gets the frag! Oh my gosh, almost evens it up. It's the operator for tenz. It feels like comfort. It feels like home. And there's one shot onto net. Then silly. It looks so much better at a 2v1.
Well, now it's tenz, or Trent, should I say, on the clutch.
Yeah.
2 versus 1 does have the Al Jonah to work with. Who better than Trent to try to go for this clutch right here?
Mid.
But the re-lurk is coming back here from tenz on the mid.
Gosh.
Now we have to tap onto that spike, potentially have a double swing. The first peek out, the headshot onto Shroud, but he's still looking back towards the doors.
Show me Tyson.
We still have an opportunity here for tenz to move back up. Comes in for the op kill for the mid doors, and that is a 2-1-4-1 by Mike Tyson.
Go. Well played.
The haymaker thrown
so
by the Mike Tyson combo.
Nice.
Oh, that puts him down around for sure. 5-2. What a reposition as well.
Thank God he took a shot. Time on this,
was in halls, so that's the first
waited for the body
position.
shot. He waited for the
Was
body
in
shot,
cave.
not the headshot.
I was worried
So
for a
that's the
second.
next
That's why I wanted to
reposition.
see
You don't
POV,
think they're
because
going to
he was
go
taking
that
time.
far around.
Well played.
They played the timing just right. Great communication there. tenz with an operator, still tenz with an operator. He's got it in hand now. It becomes dangerous. Let's see if Sentinels can still keep putting these frags on the board. A push from Jonah P here. And guard get a little aggressive again here.
Diamond, buddy.
Yeah. We've seen those plays before from other players.
Wow, look at that spot. Look at that spot Shroud's in.
He's such a nerd.
That front B, but
What a
again,
geek.
looking at
Oh my
Sentinels,
God,
it's
I
been
love
very
it.
slow in the beginning of these rounds, just playing where
I
you're
don't think
mentioning
I've
before, Riv,
seen
where
someone
they're
ever
buying
there
their
before.
guns. But look at this push from net and the off angle
He
being
died.
held here by
Fuck.
Shroud.
Oh no.
That wins it.
No.
But
Yeah,
I
if he
feel
had
like this
stayed
plays
there,
a
he would have
shot.
been fine.
Yeah.
Let's see just how necessary that wall is for Sentinels to get
Honestly,
into the rounds.
low-key,
a lot relies
thinking
on the shoulders
that's
of
what he
tenz
gets.
now.
He deserves
right,
it.
an opening pick for them.
Yeah, I think he was trying to
is
group
the way
up,
to
I would
even this
imagine.
up.
I'm not sure. But
So far, he looks for a mid push.
No, I was just saying that because he's a nerd for that spot.
Oh, yeah.
He
again.
deserved his death.
Yeah.
We saw this sometimes from Sentinels before, where they draw out the rounds. Usually they'd aggress a little bit more. Sick would be in somebody's face a little bit faster here, but it does seem like they're relying on
miss Sick.
the
I
guard
hope he's
telling
doing
them a little bit
okay.
of information before there's movement. This death ball
This
moves once
roster's
again
still
towards A. They
insane,
don't
though.
have enough members to
30
split.
seconds left.
Oh, this is
We'll
really...
see once we get Shazam up here how they can drone themselves in.
Uh-oh. In front of it.
Great delay.
Oh, gonna kill actually.
Too, but unfortunately, the headhunter does not connect from net. So that's an early 4 versus 4. And because of all this utility, you could still try to make it through by all these flashes. Offshot miss could have been a crucial one, but this allows now Sentinels to get a plant down. The Owl Drone trying to re-clear. That does tag onto a member of Sentinels, forcing him just to hold back towards Briggs.
Got some util.
As zellsis is watching back towards that right side pyramid. We still have great positioning to crossfire for Sentinels. And we're also flooding back. Nice flash from Jonah B, but it's still Shazam that gets these kills. And looking at it so far with those 2 kills coming out from Shazam, you already see Saya player falling back to save that operator. So that is going to be a round coming in for the Sentinels.
I was a little
worried,
actually, at
the
first,
economy being solo for the guard, they need these weapons.
Yeah, I thought guard is going to group A.
Controller down, Silly. Right? And we saw Dapper kind of just run in there.
Dude was just close with his pistol.
And then we saw a few other...
They've had so I think it's way harder than CS, that's for sure.
And the
yeah, it's almost like you can predict CS, but this game, who knows, a jet can pop ult and just fly through the air and kill everybody.
Yeah, literally.
At any time.
So yeah, it continues to be a lingering factor right now for the guard, at least in this very map. But for Sentinels on the other end, though, looking very good on the executions with this triple initiator. Get these plants, starting things off with a Viper's Pit on the left side. Another conversion that starts off early for Trent as he gets the first blood for the team. It gets immediately traded out, and now he's trying to go for this flank. He's not really traded out, but at least they've evened up the tally for Sentinels. What I'm trying to get to, and with that though, with this pit, we're still going to hold very slowly for Sentinels.
Got 9 rounds in, and they pulled the trigger. Holy moly, what a fast round from Sentinels. Guard with a great reaction so far.
They're all relying on
push, but they read Trent.
They
kick him down eventually. Dapper now looking his next.
They push through on that backside.
Throw outside of the pit to connect onto Jonah B, and unfortunately Net is going to be by himself once another one falls for the guard. Inside the pit, zellsis spots for the third one of this round, making it 7-2, and that's to add another one of these Sentinels post-plant conversions, almost making us think that we're watching 100 Thieves play from stage 2.
Yeah. It's weird because
you almost play against every play style.
If you've noticed, every 1v1 he's taking close range, he instantly crouch strafes.
And there we just saw them
like it's really hard to hit him
after showing guard very Navi style of play where they were planting with 1 second
like
every time.
Instantly
so now the guard has to wonder, we continue to push, are we going to see the death ball right away?
CS
looks like they'll keep this one set back and actually hover towards B this time. They're trying to read what Sentinels would do side to side. It seems like they're starting to favor A more, especially when tenz will have the 2 or 4s, which they just see the knee of
They're not even using their ults, they don't care.
This round out.
They're definitely going to use something here.
Yeah, I would expect KO. KO for that.
They're doing a Hall
Net
split
is really
again.
Watching it here with the operator. With the
the fatals into CT with the
start things off with an execution. It's going to be fairly quick towards the A-holes. Just take control of the door. And here's that battle towards the front. The swing out from Net, and he connects onto that kill. Another first blood coming in for the guard. But the tag from the Aljo, the 100 security come out, zellsis trades it back. A 4 versus 4 Sentinels have taken over the A site, but we're fighting back from under the bridge. 3 versus 2.
What's this one called? Mike
Shroud and Shazam.
Exam?
Plant on the right side of the pyramid.
Really
and the wall comes up to allow Shazam to take position inside sight.
Wasn't Shazam a movie?
Guards just setting up garrisons here at the end. You saw, like you said, under bridge, there were 3 members just ready to take fights. Beautiful coverage and anchoring of each other here, making it tough for Sentinels. Now Shroud and Shazam standing tall. Will they be able to do it? A Saya player connects with Shazam.
This is his moment, somehow.
Shroud. Nice
we're going to hype it up every time.
Not fully blinded by that one, but it's enough to make it his POV.
It's part of being here,
nice
really.
3 versus 1. A conversion that finally comes
that would be so like
from a 5 versus 4 for the guard.
I don't know.
As we make it 7-3.
Like all the stars.
But overall, when you're looking at this game here, for the Sentinels, if you're a fan of Sentinels, you're actually really happy that they've gotten 7 rounds on their attack so far, right? Because they averaged like what, 4 on their attacker rounds during the stage 2 group stages and the playoffs too. So it's nice to see that it continues forward, and we see some positives out of all of these roster changes and moves that we see on their attack side so far.
Absolutely, and it praise both teams. Guard on Breeze showing a bit of an adaptation, comeback, reading how Sentinels were playing when they're basically getting hit with everything. So it's good to see the Guard as well being able to show us a little bit of gusto. 2 more rounds and they'd make this a pretty even matchup here to start off on Breeze. Oh, they know each other.
Oh, you're waiting for the drone.
This
oh,
one
wait,
out.
it doesn't even see him.
Dapper starts it off. There's again.
Do you play
your initiator getting that first frag. Sentinels has.
Oh my god, that is so scary.
Dry peaks to come out here.
In a while.
Dapper had used a bit of utility there, but it was to clear space and make sure he could take it alone.
We tried something new for the guard in terms of the push from the chamber, which is now on that
I guess Dapper peeked window and killed him.
Could have seen the
off.
first battle on mid
really?
where Saya player
we don't know. Observer doesn't know either.
Where he's been
oh my god, what the fuck?
Headshot onto tenz, a 4 versus 4.
Holy
A knife to clear up the site for a bit. Jonah P holding the corner towards that ladder and gets that frag onto Dapper. The poison have to come up on defense to run that clock down as Jonah P gets pinged for a bit with the recon.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
And it's a stalemate right after that.
Yep.
Yeah, good call on the Jonah P there. That 0 point kind of just slapped Sentinels in the face. Still saw one try to come through, but it did not work.
Not this time.
Fire Jonah P. Trent.
25 seconds. Save or go for it. Fuck it. Let's go for it.
Match.
Go for it.
And now they've figured out this strategy by Sentinels, where they go hard, they'll push, they'll show one thing, and just look utility. Guard doesn't buy it anymore.
Straight up, that's
it's on B and drop Shroud.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, they were trying to go for that lurk onto the tunnels, but
Valiant were actually the comms. You did that pretty
especially
well.
after the underhand throw came out from the poison orb. You already knew here for the guard.
I swear you had experience with that. That was you in CS.
So very
Straight
well
up, are we going through? Alright, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm falling back.
It's one of those moments where it looks like it was a very solid hold and not allowing Sentinels to plant finally.
It's like in 2 seconds, 4 different decisions.
The operator does seem to be.
No, but seriously, someone check
weapon
Trent's
choice.
PC. I'm gonna start getting
some
pissed.
rounds here. Definitely allowing guard to shut down.
Just outside of like a huge pickup into Shroud. So this timeout being very important here, but a lot of support to help out Shazam. zellsis on top of that, his experience in version 1 before used to be an IGL at some point. So that's his other second voice to help out Shazam into the development coming outside of this timeout. And it starts very slow once again though, Rick. We're still trying to prod out the beginning of the round for the Sentinels. And the guard understands that, so they're just staying back with the operators that they have. Double up once again, by the way.
Great Viper wall. It is very much so. Just the touch on
quickly or something?
Once more. Actually, they're going to be hitting A here.
They're
So
popping it.
Oh,
big dagger.
0 point comes in to shut down. Yeah, that grabbed a huge handful of members. Still seems like they want to encroach though. They kind of play against what you think would happen. Oh, we slowed them down. No, they're trying to come in. Saya player reads it. There's the first one and almost 2.
And Trent's back there too to fight back against zellsis. Another headshot onto Dapper. Spike is now down in front of the A site. Jonah P under attack at the staircase as Trent is down to 18 HP. Beautiful recon dart allowing Jonah P to get that kill, leaving Shroud by his lonesome. And that's Trent with a 3K into the round to end the half. 7-5. It started off well for the Sentinels, but now we actually have our game in our hands. It's time to go for a break because we want to come back for more action after this.
On guard, battled through the economy, battled through their own demons.
We
have a game on our hands. That's all we want.
See what you did, Justin?
I
got me mad and you got him mad too.
Especially with Sentinels.
Listen, hold
on. Yeah.
That was Dapper's
very
fault.
big shot onto Dapper to start.
For Justin?
I want Sen to win.
And this
I don't think
this
so,
is
bro.
big.
Every time
one of
a nice
the win
shot,
conditions
like,
we came
that wasn't even
into
Trent. That
was
was
that
sounds I never
guard
heard you
converts
make
their
before.
5v4.
Because he's insane. What can I say?
Yeah.
Kid's crazy.
Second
Site's
best
free.
team right now in LCQ at being able to achieve this, but the conversion rate is not as good.
Well, at least we have a nice flash, shock dart combo. So you see that that's coming out here for Sentinels as well, using a little bit of that utility to try to retake towards the A site.
Great positions.
Now with a 0 point. Recon in the back. We know one playing.
This is so hard. This is so
flash
hard.
available for zellsis. Goes for that underhand.
Love that.
Comes back through. One is going to be Trent, and thankfully he's fully blinded. But that zellsis still on his own. Connects onto another kill on Tenz, but we're swinging through as he's reloading, and that's a perfect pistol round coming in here for the guard.
Big
Was
2.
it 7-2?
Pistol rounds, one apiece right now
7-2 or
between these
3.
two teams. As
You got good
Sentinels did
memory
pick
on
up
you.
their first one, so the guard answer back.
Only when
They'll
it
get a
matters.
bonus. They should be able to tie it up here. Let's see if Sentinels get
7-2,
anything funky for a
7-6.
defensive strategy. As it looks like mid
Yep, that's
will
4
be
rounds,
how
bro.
guard kind of spreads this one
Think
out
about what
just
happened
a
in
little
those
bit.
rounds,
Spikes
Justin. This
down
is
to
not just
start
4
this
rounds.
round off. So there
A lot
actually
happened.
may
But
be
they were close
considered
rounds, I
Sentinels
think,
will
right?
get a push
Maybe
onto
not.
this round here.
I don't know.
Extremities are covered. You can see on the left side, Net's getting ready to focus on window and a push.
I'm shaking in my
It's
boots
covered,
now.
and so are Halls.
I feel like we were on top of the world for a bit there.
Really
What happened?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
From Sentinels is just to actually shine a little bit of light onto like these players that we think.
I didn't jinx it. I haven't said anything to anyone.
We already saw it in that.
No, I didn't. I don't know what you said on your guys' stream.
No, Valent's talking about, I'm playing against one of my almost idols here in the attack FPS scene, being Shroud. Net is also very young coming into the scene, and when we've also criticized Net on his chamber plays, mainly saying, yeah, he's better on Killjoy, play your comfort picks, I like that he's still pushing forward by himself on the defense.
It's fine, we still got a lead.
The name and the numbers and the viewers affect his playstyle to be like, I'm going to confidently push down, get the information for my team, and on top of that, getting these kills.
Yeah, you got to know you're better than everybody else in the server. It's just a feeling you have to exude. So a little bit of a fake arrow towards A.
I'm really quiet today because
don't get a ping, but they know somebody's close enough to shoot it.
Holy shit.
So that would kind of, especially where the shot was from, kind of tells the deepness of Sentinel's defense at this time.
I'm happy.
Round getting drawn out once again. We're going to have a B hit, and it's 1 for 1.
That's a quick
the best
kill,
he could
but
do,
that's
really.
a stack coming in for Sentinels on the A side, so I don't think that tenz expected the flood coming in from the guard into this B side. Good for that kill, and now it's trying to figure out if they could catch the guard off positions. And that's 2 players moving out towards the snake, towards that tunnel, and there's one watching the late flank being tried.
Did we just... I feel like the first round and the second round have been the same. Like, the guard mirrored what Sentinels did. They encroached and scaled onto A. Now we have a late round run into B without any coverage because the walls
generally
in A.
watching NA. This has got to be one of those more slower paced ones. I feel like in NA people are just running at each other a lot of the time.
Little, we can do anything
like
you can
though.
do situation here to start off our first few rounds, and that's going to be some nice damage. Not losing too much with just a headhunter there.
Get one more kill.
A few with Trent as well.
Close in, do the damage, do as much as you can. Can you get a third into the round? Not going to work out, and just like that, we're tied on a 7-7 scoreline. And we kind of invested a little bit into the guard, right? They had 3 Bulldogs going into that previous round and kept those Bulldogs alive into this round here. So it could still be a heavy fire round with, it looked like side player was going to go for another Bulldog trying to keep the econ at some point even. But he decides to go for the Vandal instead. On the other end, though, big test for Sentinels as they have to play the defense on a triple initiator here and see if this is going to work out in their favor.
So instant walls being put up right away. So this allows you to feel out the map. You've already put something on the plate of Sentinels on defense. So guard can decide to play around that. It does seem like Trent feels comfortable in walls. It's the second time
they have 2 Vandals
as they start
and 3
to work
Bulldogs.
mid. So now guard, this did not happen for Sentinels. I don't think we ever saw Sentinels work mid once. So guard here trying to pressure the
split.
Yeah, if anything,
and they're leaving one mid
for
the flank.
Split in.
Shroud's alone.
Flashes coming out on defense, but it's still going to be Shroud.
The anchor though. The anchor
gets pinged out, but he does get the headshot onto this player
baby.
Yes, that's huge. A 2 versus 2. Zellsis battling at 35 HP at the staircase of the A site. Spike is now moving in, looking for a plant, and it will be successful now, courtesy of Valen. While Net is rotating all the way back towards cave, the Spike planted for both of these players as we're retreating back towards the cave with the toxic screen about to come down. Oh no!
Wait, did his
No, I didn't
the
like
wall?
that. I did not like that at all. Out caught in position. Out of position, rather.
These guys are both
maybe
low,
it was
though.
a miscommunication.
He mollied it and he's doing
Alex
the
call it out potentially here. The Kamol was coming down and
they need to touch it.
They need to touch it. Thankfully, Valen can play the pulse lineup. ADS onto 10. A 2 versus 1, but it's still going to be Zellsis back. That 13 HP remaining will get the defuse, and that's Sentinels.
I was going to say.
Oh my god.
I don't know how long this lasts.
Oh, I think just at the last moment, I thought they were timing the gas well. Maybe didn't call it. It was going down. That caught out, but then stayed out.
Even got a plant too.
He's like, all right, you missed, I missed. Let's keep fighting. Sometimes you make that decision, and it did not pay off. Honestly, that looked like the guard's round with Sentinels.
I'm telling you, Mike doesn't get that sight kill.
Wall up as well. They passed through for a bit of damage, and the firefight just continued. So the mid play overall actually stopped there, and then we see now. The reason I mentioned that is the difference in how we're seeing these teams.
Sentinels cam.
You see that guard wants to work mid a bit. It may still happen, and we'll see if Sentinels reacts to that mid pressure already.
Do they have cams there? You know, Hannah?
They do, yeah, but I don't know if they're gonna like show them or not.
Did they not just show? Oh,
they showed guard. Yeah,
they showed the guard, yeah.
And
look at their buy. Guardian, Bulldog, 2 Spectres.
More towards elbow.
Yeah, it's got
play close range
that
here
is
with
fucked.
the Spectres that we currently have, a Bulldog, a Guardian. Mind you, again, this is a round that Sentinels won previously, Their economy is fully broken versus what the guard has to offer this round.
Tenz Guardian long range down that B hall. He's ready for someone to peek. Quick haunt over the top. So they've cleared everything left extremity. They can play defense on A now. Sentinels has done a pretty great job.
He's gonna hear them.
Viper's pit A.
Please get two here.
See how they play off it.
This is where Tenz is moving forward. They hurt him, but he's still ADS is down. Body shots onto net. Dapper looking for info with the Prowler towards mid, and they still hear the footsteps. Tenz trying to retreat if he can, and could still blow up the Headhunter if anything. The first swing out, but it's still going to be Trent that wins that first duel against the defender on the B side. Slightly open for now. Recon Dart to try to answer back. Also the null command coming out here on the defense from zellsis, but Trent still drops Shazam. Now in the back of the site, zellsis with the Vandal. Underhand throw, looking to peek back towards the ladder, and he does spot a few. Now he does have support from Shroud coming out from McDonald's while Dapper's moving down tunnels, and they are closing in on the guard, leaving Saya player, that Guardian by himself on the attack. And it's just going to slow down.
Actually, huge kill.
Oh my god!
Onto Dapper. Let to go for a pre-fire shot into the corner. Nice high-low for Sentinels to stop the bleeding. And that's Sentinels with 2 rounds in a row.
Shit.
Sentinels making a decisive decision to push on a scattered by both teams, which means it's a round where if you go to the throat of your opponent and you're able to take them out like Sentinels did, it becomes so hard economy-wise. What a push down towards B, and you called it. The fake ran right into the rotation of Sentinels.
Yep.
Guard was not expecting that to happen this early in the game from Sentinels' defensive side. As we saw, they're down to Marshals and Sheriffs now, and Sentinels pull away by 2.
Tried to go for something.
All right, we're gonna stabilize here.
On the defense, underhand throw.
Yeah, they have really bad guns
here.
here.
False looking back towards the A main. The tap on the orb. The battle here.
Let me down easy.
Up and available for the attack of the guard.
That's 2 activated in this round. You talked about the orb touch with the shop. That was Nets, 2 to 4 up. Now they have 2 priority.
All on Dapper with a Bulldog.
Storm Tour.
He has ult,
I hate
right?
Twitch.
No, he doesn't play this a lot slower.
I'm so sorry.
A little more pressure on net here. You can see Saya ready to answer on the anchor of these plays.
Dapper,
and it's just a 1-2-3 across the map for Sentinels defense here. They're playing for the retake. They know they're against big alts. There's no reason to try to play the 1v1 right now.
Yeah.
It's also fucked because it looks like tunnels open.
To try to clear it for a bit.
Worried about that
to look back towards the ladder, so that allows
I don't know.
That's fine, Jonah. I'm pushing you.
Flash.
God damn it, you made the joke again, dude. Sorry. As if it wasn't enough the first time.
Into the next round. Net no answers back onto Shazam. It's a 3 versus 3 somehow, as Dapper is still stuck in the back of the site, looking to get pushed in, looking to get the wallbang shots, and Dapper is looking for that swing. It's a close-range battle against Valen, who's just around the corner. And as he goes for that swing, it's 2 players looking in that area, forcing out at least a retake from the Nightfall, as Net still stays alive for a bit, but only for a bit. Dapper answers back, and he was the solo anchor into the site and also stays alive this whole time.
6-man for Sentinels. Shout out to him.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. Like I said, they wanted to play the retake. And that takes so much discipline. Like, Dapper played that ridiculously well. It's so easy to say, oh, I'm getting peaked, I'm getting pressure, but he found a way to stay safe, knowing when to play the kill. And like you said, long enough to secure a Nightfall in the situation, which is ridiculous. He was the only one that could really allow those ultimates to be broken through the site. If he got those 2 frags, like, literally, Moon's aligning there, guard trying their best, but could not make the round happen with Tour de Force and Bladestorm. And that's a round now pulling away again for Sentinels.
One of them just hit the fucking vape.
For quite a while. There's a Viper's Pit to start things off at A for Sentinels.
This is so
that means they can focus a little bit.
Oh my god.
Rifle's got caught out.
Ready to come back if necessary. Right out the gate.
Yeah, still, if he didn't get tagged, I wonder if he gets more.
For the guard, easy trade against Shroud, and the player advantage also on the attack. Plant coming down for the Pulse Plant at the default spot once again, where they could play the Pulse Plant lineup. So you currently see Trent moving all the way back. Valen still has his 2 snake bites, and as he actually brings back up that fuel, allows the wall to come back up, and now they retreat back into the A cave. And this is such a strong position. I mean, you still have Net towards mid.
Is this a save?
You have an alarm bot looking back towards that flank. This is just going to be one off simple utility from the guard. Let's see if we can actually get
they don't know that.
Sentinels.
I think it's too hard. There's a mid flank and then mollies.
We might be able to actually get this to a fast beat. They're going to have to force defuse it.
Here
comes the ultimates. They're trying to flick across. Velen
got the Viper ult out though. Not too bad.
Great organization in the ultimates here. Sentinels knows they can't go for it, are forced to back off. So still, even after losing pivotal ultimates inside a guard, they're still
I just let it right.
I just realized it as well. I was like,
get themselves around. That was big to be able to knock down Sentinels on that round.
Yeah, the guard have been looking pretty good here on the way that they're taking up here towards the A site with the play to pulse plant, because a lot of these times Velen gets a plant and still stays alive too on the pulse plant. There's been some situations, of course, where losing his player is back on the pulse plant in front of the cave where he has to try to clutch it, but overall the initial strategy of the guard trying to get into A for the plant.
I am tired. I just got back from the Philippines and then I was in LA for like less than 24 hours, and then I had to fly to Dallas, Texas.
A possibly.
Because Tyson wanted me here, so.
Right now he's actually alone.
I've had.
They're playing retake. It looks like.
I've had probably over like 24 hours of travel within the past like 2 days.
The gas ore being popped back and forth as null command comes out. Quick sight take here.
I do apologize if my energy isn't
like round one here. Transfer ultimates makes it a little easier unless Dapper does that.
They have a tag coming out onto Shroud in the back of yellow. Aldro coming out from Shazam. Shock Dart's trying to come through. And that's going to be a little bit of a combo. That could have killed Joe. He's down at 2 HP. And finally,
everything right there.
Kill confirmed by
Shazam.
But alert coming back towards mid from Trent. And he can come up huge right now. It's a 5 versus 2. We are watching that flank, but it's Net and Trent. Two youngsters right now in the roster making it work, at least for now. Trent on his lonesome. And it does not connect there, unfortunately, on that duel. But we actually did have a crossfire set up no matter what. He was fighting against Shazam. You had zellsis on the other end and one going under the fuse. And that's Sentinels at 11.
Triple initiator retakes are gross. Like, they are going so quick. And I talked about it a bit before. We saw
last round, but
even abandoning cave.
Faking the A split, probing.
Guard have had good success through this doorway. So you can see him touching it again, saying, all right, let's get the rotation now. No bite, though. Sentinels staying very controlled on their angles. Just a little bit of a lean now from the defensive spawn area.
Dapper's going to have to come up huge at the pillar of the B site. The smoke dissipates.
The spray.
That's an easy trade back. Vibrant Spit is available, but it's stopped by Shazam just by the archers in the back of the B site. Spike is also down, but Shazam's run is by himself, actually.
Nice.
You can do it so far. That's one
Chaz is
clean,
actually. Jesus, man.
Now there's no information from the guard where the last two players are, except maybe
here you go, Michael Jordan. Can they win it?
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Back towards mid.
A nice little two-pronged attack here coming in from the side of the guard. We saw kind of what the cloud burst over a gas wall provides you. It kind of bit him in the butt for a second as that wall's over towards A, but this 2v2 is tight. And Sentinels look to put themselves on huge point.
Oh my god, this spot.
Not gonna happen.
That's a good position.
One of those moments where, you know, there was that missed call that came out from one end before with Valen's ball coming down. This time is actually Sentinels.
Pulled it down
Zellsis
too early, I guess.
Turned towards the back, and 2 easy kills for Jonah B with an aggressive push-up. I like that. And the guard stays alive so far in this game.
Oh, look this way.
I don't think it was
look this way.
Look
this way.
Honestly.
Just too many angles.
There's too many. Get the protractor. Dapper, Zellsis, Shazam, all ready to fire out ultimates here to make sure this round doesn't go in favor of the guard. Let's see how many they use. Valen, are they going to try to crash onto a site and get this Viper's pit down? Again, these rounds where the spike is down, okay, it gets picked up. Usually we see the guard play very slow if that spike is down, but they grab it right away to hold elbow. A little bit of a crossfire here to help each other out. The double push in halls, I like this.
Yeah.
I think the same thing that
trying to put things in place. They
haven't
haven't got any pushes though, so the guard
are going
have not been
faster,
ready in this strategy.
just
They
chilled
could
for a
still
while.
crash onto the site and slam that Viper's pit down.
That's exactly it. You want to use that toxic screen maybe as a conditioning, as a fake, because you have a Viper's pit that's available.
Always.
So you could still use a lot of utility from your 2 initiators. From the recon dart, probably the reset coming back from Trent. This kill also is going to give the tell that the hits towards that B site, but it allows you to get in with utility and get the plant down. Dapper was looking to get rid of it but decides to save it into the later rounds because they are also on a lower buy. So this also allows the guard to get an easier sight.
I don't think his team was close enough to capitalize
of a
on
flank
it.
coming in from Zellsis with that Vandal from Muda.
We're gonna hold it. I would just need some kills for confidence, I would say.
Being efficient with the ultimates on this round. Tenz coming in with the Headhunter to try and get a little bit more. So guard actually have found quite a bit of success here going towards middle. As you said before, the wall towards A.
God.
Wow. Yeah, let's hold for a bit. We got the highlight reel coming out from
right.
tenz. Zellsis actually makes it a little bit more expensive for the guard this round, but he's actually potentially going for this. Off the kill, try to make it expensive for a bit. I mean, he will be able to fly into the next round. Trent takes him down, but yeah, that was actually a really good.
I wanted Trent to die, but
half buy after all here for Sentinels.
Right.
No.
It's like I said before, when guard do win, man, they take a lot of damage in the fights. It makes it so tough to string these rounds together. You're under so much pressure. You don't have as much confidence to push. The dangerous plays you make have much more of a negative results if you do go down, right? You can't just buy next round. It's not that kind of game for guard right now. So the ultimates are about to just clash here as we get towards the end of our first map. What a game to start off NALCQ between guard and Sentinels.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby, it's still going too. First map breeze. We never thought this would be in the mix here, but guard wants to avoid Haven. The other maps, just get them out. Towards Halls is going to be the play here.
The tides have turned in terms of the economy for Sentinels. A crucial round for them to win. If they win this round, they lose a lot of players.
So much room.
They're still going to be on full economy at that point.
Oh my.
That's a great way to start things off. Shazam, ADSing, headshot onto net.
Was
We're
crazy.
trying to answer back.
He died.
Yeah, like what?
Shazam tries to fight
Who knows
back.
how that went? He didn't want things either, so I don't know what happened.
That forces out the null command, and Valen gets the entry onto Shroud. Meanwhile, though, as the door opens, that's already going to be the ult down, but it's going to be a camera for the players on the guard trying to get this plant into A. Still, the Viper's Pit available. Null command coming out on the defense, so that's going to delay things just for a bit. And there you go, the pit finally comes out. Trent still has the Owl Drone. Hunter's Fury to come back as well on the retake from Shazam. And it's zellsis, Shazam, and tenz looking for the retake, but they have to retake with the off on top of that. So this is good positioning, at least for Valen inside the pit.
Well, he might
As the wall comes down, coming in. Oh, the close range trying to get that shot. Lurking around the Viper's Pit in the zone. The swing out, and unfortunately, as zellsis comes down towards that ramp, Trent was looking at the wrong angle. That's going to be the defuse coming out for Sentinels at that point. But Rev, we talked about how expensive this round could have been.
Because his teammate also
still, there's an opportunity for the guard with the economy and that plant that they just got.
% there, but like that was kind
of money, like you said, coming back into their favor. Again, we see the Sentinels using this triple initiator.
No, I'm saying that we take those.
You
I'm just
basically
saying, like, Valen kind of like
negate the space where guard could be standing in that Viper's Pit, right? Whether you have Shazams, whether you have
by the way,
Seas, a Prowler,
in this map,
a flash going in to know you have the upper hand
as well.
if it was close enough to that. Like,
and we'll just say that Mike's doing his job.
They almost knew where they were going to find their fight.
I feel like Mike isn't though. He's not
the type of casualties of their own.
He's not a
he's
like he's the type of guy
game point here as we come.
He's trying to win the game. He's not trying to
around 23 for Sentinels.
I'm not saying that zellsis is by any means, but
looks like they'll hold off a regular 3-2 defense actually outside.
Oh, yeah.
A bit of an extremity play coming in from guard.
In the beginning of this round, you had so much juggle going on with what kind of buy we're going to have for Sentinels. And now you look at the overlay, they don't have that much utility to work with if you're looking at what's still available. Yeah,
true.
It's going to be very tough right now. We're seeing the guard trying to split back into this A site.
What a push coming in. Zellsis could have their backs real quick. Guard make quick work of everything that's in A. Is Zellsis over later? Is he just in time?
Is that you?
He's dead down, spike down Zellsis looking towards the back end of the cave. Tenz looking for the high ground. But here's that flash to the door. That spots Tenz, but Jonah P still manages to escape. But this still gives him good positioning on the pulse plant now for the guard. And even Sentinels, look at that. On a 5 or 4 versus 3 rather. He might play it a little bit more passively and might try to save unless to get this kill. And they do. So that opens up the mid doors. There's that knife that's going to pick 2 players out of the 3 remaining inside the site as well. So you will commit for this. The recon dart to come out, the toxic scream as well. Molly in the front from the fragment of zellsis. And we're straight to the wall for the timing on that one. Trent allowing to get 2 kills out of that. And that is going to be the guard holding the plant after all.
We actually
We're 1 round away of seeing overtime to kick off the LCQ.
Again, mid becomes this
we'll
opening, this place where guard can encroach into Sentinel's defense, be a thorn in their side. The initiate, they didn't put the wall up.
But they're not slamming it. They're faking it.
Did not put the wall up at A this round.
I don't know what's going on.
So we'll have to see
what happens. Look at this. I love this, actually.
Oh my god.
Fake it late, the push, tenz wants first blood.
Oh my god.
just cheated him.
That is a
literally
flood in the guard.
God.
And that opens up the B side as well. We have another player looking
That's
around,
so
but
pain.
just hurt that shot.
Tenz got some pointy elbows or what? How did he shoot him so quickly?
Oh, but this.
Poxy screen's about to come down. He's looking for the window flank.
I like what Dapper's doing here.
Old command coming out here.
The barrel might have been the barrel, yeah.
This would be incredibly impressive.
Wait a minute, George.
Reading this,
very
though.
doable if you actually have a huge flank. Oh, the wall comes up on the timing on defense. Oh, Dapper's position's now given away with 2 players playing under the window. You're going to have to flick hard, but it doesn't work out. He had utility in his hands, and we're looking closer and closer for the overtime. Shroud with the Marshall. zellsis down, and Shazam with the Bulldog, but the res comes out, forcing out the Hunter's Fury to tag onto one. The double kill with the Hunter's Fury, leaving only 1 player alive. That's zellsis with that Spectre, spot into the front of the B site, and we will be going into overtime. A Saya player gets that last kill.
Sentinels meet the guard.
Is it the length of the gun of the ult?
Oh my gosh.
Is it longer than the op?
Overtime for this game, all ready to start in our best of 3. We still have Ascent, we still have Icebox to go, but that doesn't matter right now.
Wait, chat. Is the tour de force longer than an
the
op?
economy being low here for Sentinels completely separated what we've been seeing them do every round. Right?
Oh,
the reason I said that would be almost impossible is because everyone then had to make 1v1 plays instead of the utility being for the team, right? Dapper wasn't with zellsis, it was with Shroud. Shazam was by himself. So the communication may have still been there from long-range utility, but it wasn't over the shoulder, it wasn't anchor fights. That was just Sentinels getting caught out because they were forced into a low buy. That's the kind of game Guard provided themselves getting into that last round. They've worked hard for it.
Here we go.
Sentinels 2 at 12. And now, like you said, first round of OT here. Doesn't look like too much of a commitment on either side as Sentinels keep a 2-1-2 on defense. Sorry, Guard on defense as we swap.
Yeah.
And Sentinels going back to this kind of attack. But now we do have a lurker. Dapper is away from the team.
Great observation on that one. Dapper's already looking back on the left side of the pillar to try to catch the rotation as the rest are trying to actually flush net out of position. And look at that. He gets pinged by a drone. He's not switching his position. He's just staying in anchored up on the left side pyramid. The owl drone to support him on the top.
They're going. I think they're going for an A hit, but it seems very. They're timid about it.
Recycle of utility to allow Sentinels to go for a hit, and Saya player's about to walk down. This could be a big kill right now from Dapper.
There's the timing there.
Oh my god.
He's watching it, but Dapper still wins it.
Wait,
to look up, push down from Valen. And he wins it on that 4 versus 4. He gets pinged down, and still the rest of Sentinels going for that explosive hit now as you have the Fox screen coming up towards A.
I wonder how much Guard actually think this is a fake. Sentinels didn't do any of that in the first half when they were playing on their attack. And they are going to do a little bit of that, just scale into A when the wall's up. Take the fights, be behind each other, give somebody a family photo if they decide to
really
peek.
run down the
time. They are there to back each other up.
1 0-point spots all 4 players. That is going to be the spike down going at least for the Sentinels as they lose zellsis in the process.
Hold the
retake's coming out from the guard. Everybody can look towards the front of the site here for Sentinels. And all of this time, we had the toxic screen still available for Valen. So now we go for that retake, and we all fall for the Sentinels. And somehow, the guard take the lead on the first map on their permaban being Breeze.
Incredible teamwork there. You see how tight-knit both teams are moving right now.
What the fuck's going on right now?
They know how each other is going to attack and play. If there's a wide swing, there's more to follow. Everybody's tethered to each other right now. This game is requiring a lot of communication from both teams. We saw the walls actually go perpendicular there to divide what could be coming from the double door side.
Prowler and a 0 point on elbow. We're putting a lot of information or trying to gather information on.
It's crazy, dude. I know. The same thing happened to me.
Sentinels and stacking players more towards the A site. But the guard pulling a trick out of Sentinel's hat.
It's just always an all-friend.
Playing it passively, waiting for the next utility to come out to try to find information, maybe try to sell the false information that Sentinels could be getting.
Justin, wait, why are you throwing shit at me? I didn't even catch that. I missed what you said there.
Because I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's funny to joke about. That's why.
Yeah, it's funny to joke about. I'm laughing.
Quick Prowler.
I can tell you're actually in despair
mode. They at least know where
mode.
Dapper might be lurking and playing, and that's kind of Dapper's style. So they know Dapper may actually just be on a bit of a sentry mission.
What do you guys think?
Figure out what's going on.
Wall up, Owl drone. This is a fake right now on the A side to hit towards B.
No
they're selling A.
Tenz is on the top. Zero on the top here for the guard, but no hits, no kills. 10, or should I say net at 1 HP. Finally gets dropped. Now it's a 4 versus 4.
Oh my god, he went for the wall
Knife actually pings him out, and we have an recon guard actually that pings out Saya player. But Valid is walking towards the front of the B site. It's a 4 versus 3. Tenz was trying to go for the hero play to at least narrow down the numbers on the retake, but we still have zellsis. The flash in the back of the site. Saya player's also holding that angle. The peek out. zellsis wins that fight. And now here comes Trent on the lurk, back towards tunnel. The 0 point coming out on defense as we have suppression coming in. Trent moves forward. The first headshot to Shroud. The recon dart to come out too. And Valen is still holding towards that window. So we have to go for the quick kill. And it works out for Shazam.
Gotta be a stick cover, stick cover, stick cover.
For the jiggle back in the front. And Shazam saves it in now for the Sentinels as we will go into double overtime on Breeze.
Oh my god.
Oh my word.
Dude, that's actually
Tyson, that got a little scary there for Sentinels fans. You saw Tyson dive into a crowd of attackers, but that initiator composition just coming in. And Shazam,
I'm not used to people calling tenz Tyson. I was so confused. I'm like,
clicking heads, and he actually had a read on where every flank was coming from, like he was in the guard's head on that attack. That's what you need to keep the rounds going here. Sentinels do just that.
That was a really good play by guard.
As the buy comes
they straight up
out
did something that they've never done.
So they can get that gun onto these hard angles to hold here. That will be focused over towards cave.
Stressing me out.
It looks like another split round-ish from Sentinels. We did not see a lot of this again in their first half. They're starting to distribute the way they play this strategy to get guard messed up. Because all Sentinels really did was either hit fast, never play mid, or go right down to 10 seconds.
Saya player is trying to do the same thing as Tenz did on the B site. The Allen drone for the ping, but this is
doing the same thing.
But zellsis gets it back. We actually do clear that top flank, but Valen's in the back of the site, connects onto 1, but cannot get the readjustment onto Shroud. We have a plant coming down.
He's gonna hear this drop mid.
Ooh. Yep. That's gonna be a big audio cue. Dapper staying on the top of mid.
Oh,
Net is looking for.
I think they saw his barrel actually. I think the guy saw his barrel.
Some of these coming out from elbow. Tenz gonna hear the location from Jonah B. Connects onto that kill, and we know the second one's moving towards tunnel. Shroud is playing the pulse plant.
Line up Larry. He's been pracking.
That's where he's things we like to see, yeah. I mean, Shroud, we talked about it before. One of those players that's coming in. As we do have the shots landing on a 1 versus 1, and it is halfway. We're forcing out the ping. The wall bang coming out from Shroud does get the kill, and who better than Shroud to win that round on that 1 versus 1 against Net, putting Sentinels back at
he 100% did lose if he died.
The time, the ice cold. I mean, like, everybody's sitting there sweating like, fire it, Molly! Oh my god, fire it! He's like, psh, what do you mean? Not even close.
I got this. Years of experience in the attack FPS scene. I got this, boys. But that's one of the things that's cool here, Riv. We talked about Shroud being one of the latest additions, of course, with zellsis into this roster, and we wanted to know if he actually knew the lineups, if he was going to be able to play Viper, because even as a joke, he said, or even as in his interview, he said, "Oh, there's potential where I won't play a Viper and maybe let Dapper play it." But
which is actually really
throw it
interesting
into this role quite well.
Ice cold lineups. Makes you think you got
it down a little bit.
Nice clutch, nice play.
He's like fucking insane. He's like
back in their favor here on their pick of Breeze.
Oh my god, it's giving me anxiety.
Elbow play gonna come in now from the side of the guard. The spike is still down towards AK.
I don't know if it's just eating into my mic.
So if they actually decide to go towards A, they can still do that. Wall hasn't been used.
If he stays there, then yeah.
So they still have a chance.
Yeah, this is huge info.
At least the spike is on the back of
are the casters
so if
too
Trent
loud?
Dies, and yeah, okay, we have a player pushed up towards
they have to be on site, and Shazam's fast
bad
rotate.
Timing,
so this is ideal, especially with that.
I think they'll push them back to A, actually. It will.
But this could still be a rotate back towards the A site.
zellsis a good spot.
Maybe that's
Mike's watching from bridge. He'll be able to maybe get one, or at least get info.
Especially after that owl drone. That's easy kill.
Huge.
Oh, massive.
And then you know going there with the dagger.
Yep. And now he knows all doors.
The body of Trent. I love it.
Well, he was making sure nobody else was to his left. Cleared it.
Oh
my God! Shroud, he comes up with
Okay.
the flawless to end the